Okay, ask me anything. I think this is part three. So we have Jesse who's asking, what team structure has been working best for you as an affiliate, and where did you hire those profiles? So I have a very unique structure when it comes to my businesses. What I do is basically I meet someone, and if I appreciate them and their skill set, then I try and figure out how we can work together. And that way it allows me to really scale horizontally, meaning that's why I have the fitness centers, that's why I have the agencies, the arbitrage, me as an affiliate, and the brands that I own. And some of the campaigns I would go and do myself and really actually get the campaigns and manage them, and some of them are managed by my teams. So the way that we actually hire, find people, and manage them is really based on the partner that I have in that specific project, because what happens is that usually these people become the CEOs of the company, and I allow them to take basically 99.9% of the decisions in the company. So on one company we have used different HR companies that gets us the talents that we need. If it's media buyers, usually it's people who write code and stuff like that. So we have that structure. On another company, I'm actually using my own reach on social media to make sure that I attract talent that helps me buy media good, or people who would actually help me solve issues like that, or basically anything that I need for that specific moment on a project basis. So I would just go and post on my Instagram or on my Facebook page, and then I would just interview them. What I did learn is that the interview can only get you so far. Basically, you can see what type of person that person is, if he's gonna be extremely strict, if he's a jokester, if he is flexible, or how secure that person is in the skill sets that he has. That's something that I've been managing to pick up on those calls, but you can't really know what's going on with that specific person. So what I do is I explain to everyone that I hire that I hire very fast, but I also fire very fast. And the first month is critical for them and for me, because I have lots of indicators, even with stuff that I know less of, like writing code and stuff like that. The first month I would get a very good indication of if they're good, if they're bad, if they ask very noobish questions, if a week goes by and I'm like, okay, what have you done throughout this week, so that's basically a tip, by the way, that I've taken from lots of people in the industry. They say that their biggest mistake is hiring very fast but firing very slow. I think that if you have that gut feeling, and if you are mature enough and have had lots of different types of people in your life working for you, partnered up with them and stuff, you should listen to your gut feeling. You shouldn't drag it, because some people are, it's very hard to fire someone. We've all been at that point where we got fired, and we don't want to be those people who create that bad moment for the other person. And also, some people just avoid confrontation, so they don't want to get into a conflict and stuff like that. So I think that once you disclose it to the other person and say, okay, dude, listen, we hire fast, we fire fast, that creates a very good, transparent way of communication, where that person knows that if he's not up to the standards or the targets that the company on the project has had, is going to be cut off from this project. Hopefully that covers what you asked. Thank you for asking that question, Jesse. And we have Attila, very good friend of mine, who's asking, what's the best strategy to scale on TikTok and maintain your CPA costs? I have to say there is none. CPA goes up and down, and it's it's an issue that every platform has, every product has. We've seen it happening with products that are basically non-priced. They don't have a price, like search arbitrage stuff. We've seen the CPA goes up and down and very fluctuating. Even if it's not a big number, it's a big percentage. It's usually double digited. And we've seen it happening with e-com and stuff like that. I do have some campaigns that are extremely stable, and there are some stuff that are consistent throughout those campaigns. So one is that those campaigns have been running for a long time. And I'm talking about TikTok, but also about Google, Facebook. I have some campaigns from a year ago that are still working. Some of them, it's even funny, they are holiday related, you know, so you're running a New Year's promotion when it's actually July. Very funny, but it's still working in terms of CPA. So that's the first thing. Make sure that you run it long enough for the system to actually stabilize, for the algorithm to actually learn, but also for the post itself to gather enough engagement. And once it creates that bandwagon effect where you have not enough conversions, enough likes, comments, and shares, then it would be consistent. So that's one. And the same thing happens with TikTok. So my stablest campaigns with TikTok, again, one, have been running for a long time. Two, I'm now using target CPA. It used to be cost cap and stuff like that. Now it's target CPA. I do not get to the point where it's not using the whole daily budget. So that means, for example, if the daily budget is 1,000 and I'm seeing that I'm lowering the bid day by day by 5%, 10%, and it comes to the point where it's actually spending 500, 700, 800, that's where I know that I want to stop. And the reason for that is not the fact that I won't be able to scale it, is the fact that when a different time, a more competitive time of the year would come, and it would just not spend at all, most likely. So that's a good indicator that you're pushing the bids too low and that you need to either change creatives or something like that. And I'm also using the specific campaign that has had enough conversions, and I add more and more ads to it. So that means I'm not just creating new campaigns from scratch. I'm actually adding ads to an existing campaign. The other way that I do it is by raising the budget within a specific campaign to a certain level. Again, I will only do it up to let's say 3 times as much as when I started usually, and that would create and outside of the budget thing, I just duplicate ad sets. So usually what I do is I tend on opening up a campaign that doesn't have a CBO or the equivalent of a campaign level budget on TikTok, and that just allows me for more flexibility, because I know that campaigns inside TikTok also gather information or save information on a campaign level. So when you do that thing, you're just not able to scale that campaign from within, because you're not able to duplicate ad groups, because those ad groups are just gonna be dividing the budget. So duplicating ad sets, making sure that you leave enough time, using ABOs, and raising the budget a little by little. Also, that tip regarding the bid cap, when you lower it, you want to make sure that it actually uses all of the daily budget. Thank you everyone for asking those questions, and hopefully I've answered to your satisfaction. I'll see you on the next video.